My husband had an affair. I had miscarriages many times for him, and it would be very difficult for me to conceive again. However, he got another woman pregnant. But after I filed for divorce, he went crazy. Why isn't he here with you? You're quite ill, and it seems to be serious. In the bustling hospital, I sat in a corner with an IV drip in my arm. My best friend had just paid the fees and sat beside me, fuming on my behalf. Over the years, my menstrual pain had become increasingly severe. The doctor said that due to previous miscarriages and my current health condition, I shouldn't try to conceive. I sighed and opened my phone, wanting to call Roderick Huntington. As expected, the line was busy. Still busy with work? My best friend grumbled discontentedly. You, his wife, are suffering like this, and he's still just working. I managed a weak smile, my pale face in the mirror devoid of color. Do you still remember Aurora Brightwell? Aurora Brightwell? The one who pursued Roderick for 7 years without success and was always scolded by him? Yes, now she succeeded in catching up with him. She not only pursued Roderick for 7 years, but was also his secretary. A minute ago, Aurora posted a status update. Tell the rose not to bloom, the person I've been waiting for has arrived. The accompanying photo showed her holding hands with someone. In a luxury hotel, there were scattered rose petals on the ground, a discarded women's dress, and a high-end men's tie. There was a blank mark on the man's slender ring finger. It was the mark left by a wedding ring. The last picture was of a familiar leather seat. And 2 black stockings. Many people envied me for having bet on the right person when I was young. That allowed me to receive his undivided attention after Roderick achieved success. But the reality is, Roderick cheated. When I left the hospital, it was nearly evening. I received a call from Roderick. What's wrong? His voice was as usual, cool and reserved, yet filled with tenderness. It was different from how he spoke to others. I tossed the report into my bag. Nothing. Tonight I won't be coming home, he said. But today was my birthday. We had known each other for 20 years now. He had celebrated my birthday with me for 19 years. This year, he had forgotten. I suddenly felt like crying. Roderick, today is my birthday. Could you come see me now? There was rustling, the sound of fabric rubbing together on the other end. After a moment, he said, okay. He drove over himself. So many years had passed, and Roderick had become even more composed and charismatic, every move captivating. I sat in the passenger seat next to him. The car was very clean. There was no sign of anyone else having been there. My gaze swept over him. His neatly pressed collar, a priceless watch, and a perfectly tied tie, as well as our wedding ring. Images uncontrollably surfaced in my mind of him and Aurora entangled together. With clothes disheveled, lost in passion, a suffocating sensation that was hard to describe washed over me. What's wrong? You don't look very well. He was meticulous in his actions, never leaving any traces. If it weren't for the twist of fate that led me to add Aurora's communication platform using a secondary account, I wouldn't have found any evidence. I clutched the seatbelt. The doctor said that it will be very difficult for us to have children in the future. It doesn't matter. What matters to me is you, Roderick said it casually, staring ahead, his thoughts unknown. Back when he was starting his business, I had endured so much hardship with him. My health wasn't maintained well, and I had several miscarriages. Instead, my body became weakened. I knew that he really wanted a child in his heart. Suddenly, his phone rang. The shrill ringing broke the silence. Answer it for me, he said. I picked up the phone, startled. It was Aurora. Answer it. Roderick's tone was as usual. I put the call on speaker. Hello, he's driving. Aurora didn't seem to expect it was me. After a brief pause, she sounded dejected. Evelyn, honey, could you pass the phone to President Huntington? I have it on speaker, go ahead. Aurora had a heavy nasal tone, as if she had been crying. President Huntington, I want to take tomorrow off. Reason? Roderick's voice was cold. I'm feeling down. I want to go to the amusement park with my boyfriend tomorrow. Boyfriend? I instinctively looked at Roderick, whose lips were tightly pursed. It feels like I'd been hit over the head with a brick. Was she asking him out? Or was she retaliating for my calling Roderick away? Aurora, I pay you a salary, not so that you can take leave every other day. I'm sorry, but I really want to go. At the end, she cried softly. He left me today. I just want to go out and clear my head. I stared intently at Roderick, hoping to hear a refusal from him. Roderick kept his lips tightly pursed, his index finger lightly tapping on the steering wheel. Not again. Aurora burst into laughter. Thank you, President Huntington. After hanging up, Roderick stared straight ahead, expressionless. The rhythm of his fingers tapping on the steering wheel gradually slowed down. It was a sign that he was relaxing. He was troubled by leaving Aurora behind. Now, he was relieved after soothing his lover. Perhaps even he didn't want to admit it. Accepting Aurora's invitation under my nose gave him a thrill. Can we go together too? I said abruptly. Roderick rejected without thinking. I have a meeting tomorrow. Amusement parks are too childish, not suitable for you. You wouldn't have said that before, I said softly. Roderick didn't raise his head. Evelyn, we've been married for 7 years. 7 years. I shouldn't be expecting romance from him anymore. Is that what it meant?